The story of Joshua and the walls of Jericho. A long, long time ago, there was a brave man named Joshua. He was a strong leader and knew that, with God's help, he could do incredible things. Joshua was helping the people of Israel find a new home, a beautiful land that God had promised them. But to get there, the people had to pass through a city called Jericho. Jericho wasn't just any city. It was very strong and had huge walls, so tall they seemed to touch the sky. The people of Jericho were inside the city, locked in, because they knew Joshua and the Israelites were coming. They were scared because they knew Joshua had God on his side. But Joshua wasn't afraid. He knew that with God's help, he could do what seemed impossible. So he went to God and prayed, "God, what should I do to conquer Jericho?" God answered Joshua with a very special plan. He said, "Joshua, I have a plan for you. You and the people of Israel must march around Jericho once a day for 6 days. Take the Ark of the Covenant with you, which represents my presence, and blow the trumpets. But no one should speak. Just march in silence. On the 7th day, you will march around the city 7 times. Then, when I tell you, everyone should shout as loud as they can." Joshua listened carefully to God and believed what he said. Then, Joshua told the plan to the people of Israel, and they were all ready to follow God's instructions. On the first day, Joshua and the people began to march. They walked around the city, blowing the trumpets and walking in silence. The people of Jericho looked from a distance, confused, wondering, what are they doing? But no one said anything. They just heard the sound of the trumpets and saw the Israelites marching around the city. On the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th days, Joshua and the people did the same thing. They marched around Jericho, always in silence, blowing the trumpets. The city seemed even quieter, but the people of Jericho were getting more curious and confused, not understanding what was happening. Finally, the 7th day arrived. It was a special day, the day when God would show his power in an amazing way. Joshua gathered the people and said, "Today we will march around the city 7 times. When I say shout, everyone should make the loudest noise they can." So Joshua and the Israelites began the march. They walked around Jericho once, twice, 3 times, all the way to 7 times. During all this time, no one spoke. Only the trumpets played. The people of Jericho looked from their windows, wondering, is something going to happen now? When the last lap was completed, Joshua raised his hand and said, "Now, shout, for God has given us the city." And suddenly, something incredible happened. The walls of Jericho began to tremble as if they were alive. They shook, until with a great crash, they fell to the ground. The people of Jericho were so surprised that they didn't have time to do anything. Joshua and the Israelites ran into the city and conquered it, just as God had promised. Jericho was now part of the land that God had given to the people of Israel. Joshua knew that everything that had happened was a miracle from God. He thanked God greatly and said to the people, "We've seen that when we obey God and trust in his words, wonderful things happen. Let's always trust in God because he helps us overcome even the greatest challenges." And so Joshua and the people of Israel continued their journey, following God with courage and faith, knowing that he was always with them, guiding them to the promised land. When we trust in God and obey his plan, he can do miracles in our lives. With faith, we can overcome even the greatest challenges. If you liked the story of Joshua and the walls of Jericho, don't forget to like it and share it with your friends so more people can be inspired by this incredible adventure of faith. Now, close your eyes. Imagine the sound of the trumpets, the walls shaking, and the victory that came from trusting in God. May your dreams be as strong and full of courage as Joshua's great journey. Good night, and until the next adventure.